Hello and welcome to today's wild Hearthstone deck tech and gameplay video on Discard Warlock. Now, before we get into the actual deck tech, I would like to acknowledge the fact of yes, it's another Discard Warlock. Lots of people have made this list. I personally also really enjoy Discard as a concept. I personally don't think that the Discard package really needs to be nerfed or banned or whatever. I hope it doesn't. I would honestly think that most people would want a more fair sort of list that is Discard, as opposed to all of the generic one-turn combo big priest bullshit decks. Anywho, onto the actual deck tech. We are using the quest Lakkari Sacrifice as yet another payoff for discarding cards. And how will we discard those cards? With cards like Soulfire and Tome Tampering. We also like cards that either want to be discarded or otherwise support cards being discarded. Kind of like a Suffocating Shadows or Silverware Golem. These cards, amongst others, also have a perk when they are discarded where you don't really even lose the card. Malchezaar's Imp and even like Hand of Gul'dan, as well as just the hero power of Warlock, gives us the ability to have some card draw. I also run Sea Devil Stingers and both Mutanus and Gigafin as ways to sort of interact, and I like to think that these cards, as well as the Deathwing, the Destroyer edition, help to differentiate my list from another. Now, with that out of the way, don't forget to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you would like to see more of my grab bag of content, and if you have any sort of questions like, hey, I don't have X, what about Y, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Anywho, on to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little Discard Warlock. We are going up against another Murloc, so there's a real chance that we might be doing a mirror matchup. And I would like to, while we have a free moment, I would like to acknowledge the fact of, yes, Lakkari Sacrifice might not be the best card and might be slow, but I like it. I think it's fun, and I'm more committed to the bit that is discard than I am necessarily getting wins. Although a Blood Imp, on turn 1 does sort of mess up what I thought was happening. Huh. Okay. You also had Cthulhu. Okay, good talk. We have a Tome Tampering. If we could find a Malchezaar's Imp, that would be lovely. Sure. Oh, is it Imp Warlock, I guess? Okay, okay. Let's see, if we were to... don't really want to... Let's see, we have 8 cards. Discard, so we go down. Okay, so we have 8, we play the Tome, we go to 7. Play the coin, but why would I want to do that? We'll go ahead and coin here. I think we will. Let's see, we might. We'll go ahead and Soulfire the face and just sort of hope we don't hit the Tome. Good, we didn't. Let's see, now 5 goes down to 4, so we can save it for a turn. Now next turn we should be able to, let's see, we're at 6 cards, we'll go to 7.
Stop copying me!
Sweet, we need to go 5 more cards here. Next turn, yeah, we'll be at 7 cards. We go down to 6 when we play it, and that'll get our quest. Yeah, we'll go ahead, why not? We aren't really losing any of the cards anyway, and this will give us our quest completion on curve, basically. As well as a pretty mean board, all things considered. Now, no matter what happens, we'll probably just play the Nether Portal, since if we're gonna bother to play the quest, if you are going to bother to play the quest at home, you might as well commit. Go ahead and trade it. Okay, the Despicable Dreadlord sort of throws off my knowledge of what the hell's going on here. We will, again, just go ahead and start trying to apply some pressure. And while we are here in a moment... What the hell is going on? Whatever. While I have a moment of relative downtime, we'll go ahead and hero power. Spawn's not bad. So we'll go ahead and play the Tiny Knight of Evil, and we'll pass. No, we can play the Walking. Now, during our opponent's turn, what I wanted to get to. One of the reasons why I'm running this Discard Warlock video for this particular video, besides just genuinely enjoying it, also the new set came out like a couple of days before I recorded this video. So really it was, how do I word this, more of a necessity, honestly, to have a video that I knew would do well so I could keep the upload schedule. Anywho, spawn a Deathwing, hopefully it doesn't hit the little tiny one. That's fine. I don't really want to go ahead and hero power any more than we have to. Okay, so you were just generic demon Warlock. We just die, right? Yep, sometimes we just die. Yeah. Well played from our opponent. This is why I really don't think that... Besides, I know that my list isn't the most... what's the word? The most optimal. But people love to complain about a deck at its high point and don't ever consider its ceiling. They don't consider the floor of a deck, they only consider the ceiling. Because sometimes, at least in my experience, Discard Warlock will fumble and you can just run them down. Anywho, on to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little Discard Warlock. We'll keep this hand. The reason why we're keeping the Sea Devil Stinger is that odds are, and they also kept the leftmost card, odds are it is yet another big priest or yet another quest priest, any of the quest really. So we would like to be able to sneak out a big Murloc a little bit early. Surprise.
Greetings.
I'll go ahead and squelch that now. Might as well hero power. We have nothing to do anyway. Malchezaar's Imp is a good start. If we can get a hold of one of the couple copies of the Tome of Tampering, then we're kind of cooking. Honestly, I think we'll just hero power again and look for it. Let's see. I mean, I would say, how is this, besides the whole needing to heal themselves, what's the word? This priest is largely going to play probably like every other priest plays, which is real interesting. We'll go ahead and hero power and hopefully find something. We're just going to get rid of the egg just so I don't potentially have to burn cards if they have something weird. The fact that they aren't doing anything does sort of gum up my plans, it has to be said. Yeah, you're healing. Boy, oh boy, how riveting. Of course, now we also do get the $1 million play of Malchezaar's Imp and Tome Tampering, which is fantastic. Yes, I know that there's a couple of copies of Suffocating Shadows in there that aren't being used. But right now, we're just in the market of trying to get the quest complete and such. Right. When they inevitably do their ridiculous nonsense, we have some sort of input now. We can either devour a board or destroy a whole board. Like, we have options now, which is very nice. If nothing else, we'll probably just play the Nether Portal. next turn, as they will likely have some sort of sweeper or interaction, like Psychic Screams or Dragonfire Potions or something.
The time has come.
Hey, he bricked it! Okay, I would argue our opponent totally could have won that. But that sort of shows that the deck does what I talked about in the last game. I mean, the ceilings are pretty high when you want to. You can create a real big scary board and make progress. So I understand why people are complaining about it. I'm just saying, you know, also consider the low points. Anywho, on to game number 3.
King!
And game number 3 with our little Discard Warlock. Honestly, we've kind of drawn the nuts. I sorta actually don't want the Hand of Gul'dan because I will be somewhat prone to like burning cards. And I mean, like, burning cards after a Malchezaar's Imp and a Tome Tampering turn is a very, like, boo-hoo, life is so hard kind of problem, but it's still a problem I wish to avoid. Most times in my experience, and with my own Death Knight testing, that will be the next Hearthstone video, most of the time they don't have turn 1 plays. Nothing else, we're going to get bonked with a ghoul here. Almost said zombie, but it's a ghoul. Yeah, it's a ghoul. See what they do. Just drew the body baggers. That's why I didn't play that. Why is that? Well, okay, I guess Death Knight doesn't have access to... Oh, shit. Doesn't have access to a silence in class normally. I'm actually not gonna hero power, as I want to have it actually a small hand, because I think this is gonna go potentially bad if I discard or overdraw too much. Anywho, since we have the coin, we can do the Malchezaar Tome Tampering combo now. We'll discard 4, then we draw 4, and then another 3 from the hand, so we won't overdraw. Got our Gigafin back if they happen to make a real big scary board. Next turn, we can always, if nothing else, if we don't draw things to discard, we can always Sea Devil and maybe a Mutanus to try and hit something big. We can throw his whole board into that taunt, which is an option. It does in fact resolve. He's got 2 more mana though, and oh no, he. Never mind. I was gonna say probably isn't lax for options. Anywho, think we will trade the Imp into the 1/1 and one of the spiders into the dragon, and we will just Sea Devil into Mutanus here. See what we find. Okay, Plate Breaker. I get it. Okay. Okay. As much as even I was scared of the Anubrakan card that I have one in Warlock, or not Warlock, in Druid. Sorry, my brain got locked up. Let me start that thought over. As overpowered as I thought that Anubrakan would be for, like, combo Druid, it's not common enough to just start raw dog running Plate Breakers. Don't run that card. It's a trap. Don't touch it. Now, maybe if the deck gets insanely popular and you have to run it as a tech card, then fine, run it as a tech card. But in this meta, at this very low level, which is where I exist, it's not necessary. I get it. Somebody hurt you. But don't let that, like, trick you into running bad cards. Just because you have an extra 10 cards doesn't mean you need to, like, fill it with 10 bad cards. Anywho, thank you all for watching. A bit of a shorter one today, but let's be honest, it's Discard Warlock. Loads of people are already talking about this list, and I've already done a couple of videos on it. So it's okay if this one is a little shorter than normal. Anywho, thank you all for watching. Remember to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you would like to see my grab bag of content. and more of it in the future. And if you have any sort of questions or comments, as long as they're nice and, you know, somewhat, what's the word, constructive, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay warm, and happy holidays. Bye-bye.